7-year-old uninvited from sleepover by entitled parent and kid. Not my story, but someone I know. So my mum got a call from a friend last night saying, "Can my 7-year-old daughter hang out with your kids tomorrow?" She said that her kid was going to a sleepover at some other girl's house, but had been uninvited, quote unquote. Not surprising for a 7-year-old, but it's the next part that made me mad. The kid hosting the sleepover re-invites the kid, but her mother can't get in contact with the mother hosting. So for 2 weeks, the kid is being told by her friend that she is attending, but friend's mother has completely ghosted her mother. Finally, on the afternoon of the sleepover, kid begs her mother to make one last attempt to call. The mother finally picks up the phone, only to say, "Oh, sorry, my kid doesn't like your kid very much, so she won't be attending." 3 hours before the sleepover. We're now having the poor girl over to cheer her up. I'm not blaming the girl that invited her. 7-year-olds be like that sometimes, but it was a really crappy thing to do on the mother's part. Yeah, I had that happen to me when I was about 11 or 12, and I know the feeling. It really tears you up when that happens, and I don't doubt this story's real. So I feel really bad for the person affected by the story. Our next story was posted by user What Up Binge 1, titled, "Entitled Mother Thinks I'm a Tramp and Deserve to Get Followed Home." Warning, I misspell and mix up words a lot, please bear with me. This happened earlier this week. Things you should note. 1. This isn't the first time I've been followed home in my neighborhood. 2. I was wearing men's basketball shorts and a grey tank top with 4-inch straps. Our cast are Entitled Mother, Rude Karen, and Nice Officer. I was at the police station waiting to make a statement done, and whatnot, when this middle-aged white woman, our average Karen, came up to me and said this.
Let me guess, you're here because you sell drugs, right?
Me, completely shocked someone would say that, goes, actually I got followed home.
Well, it's probably because you're a tramp. Excuse me? Look at what you're wearing, a tank top and shorts in fall. You're obviously a tramp. You should go home. You were not followed home. You just had someone who wanted someone easy. Let me guess, they weren't attractive.
It's 90+ degrees outside, and as I said, I was followed again. I was followed by someone I didn't know.
I wonder what your boyfriend thinks of you sleeping with strange men and dressing like a prostitute.
Bro, I'm gay and a virgin. I'm also 14.
You're a fag? No wonder he followed you. He wanted to turn you right. I should have you arrested right now for spreading your disease.
This was when the nice officer came by. Is everything okay here, OP? Yeah, this woman's just being really rude and I just want to go back home. Nice officer turns to Entitled Mother. Caroline, what are you doing here again? Entitled Mother goes on a rant about how her daughter won't pay her rent and that she owes her and that it's stealing since she raised her and owes her money. I got called to take my statement and thankfully she was gone by the time I got done. Summary or whatever it's called. Entitled Mother blames me for getting followed home and thinks I'm a tramp for wearing shorts and a tank top. Our next story was posted by user Kappa Kalen, titled, "Entitled Kid Wants My Pixel 2 XL After I Tell Him He Can't Have My Speaker." Hey, it's me again. I decided that I should post some more stories as I've gotten a lot ever since I moved. This one, it's an interesting one. I had recently got paid and wanted to blow my 3rd paycheck that I've gotten. So one thing I was lacking was technology. I wanted to get a phone and I wanted a good one. So I got the Google Pixel 2 XL. I settled on this one because its camera was amazing and I liked the UI setup. I also spotted the JBL Flip 4 speaker and thought that it was neat, due to its waterproofing. The phone was about 800 Canadian dollars and the speaker was $104. So here I am, 3 hours later on the bus. I loved it. I was obsessed with the phone and hadn't even taken the speaker out of the Walmart bag. And here comes an entitled kid. I could just tell by the way he walked and paid the driver. Oh boy, he was gonna be hell. Guess who had a free spot next to them? Me! And here he comes! Hello, how are you doing today? I noticed his eyes glued to the bag and my phone.
Good. What's in the bag?
Oh, it's a speaker I bought at Walmart.
Can I have it? I'm very poor.
He was wearing some clothing from Walmart and Nike shoes. He definitely was not poor. No, I bought it. It's rude to ask that too.
Why?
Please leave me alone if you're gonna beg for my stuff.
Fine, if you aren't gonna give it to me, then I want your phone.
The kids literally grabbed the phone out of my hand and started playing the game I was playing. He was around 12. Me, I'm sitting there in disbelief and I say,
Are you serious? Shut your fucking mouth, I'm playing this game on my phone.
okay, I get the reaction is a little rude, but I was a little ticked, and he made it a lot worse. I hit the kid's hand and take it back, which he starts crying. Here comes a man, 40-ish.
What the hell just happened? This kid just...
Entitled kid starts crying and yelling,
He stole my phone for me. Actually, I just tell him to give it back.
Actually, this kid just took it straight from my hands, and I just bought it. I showed the guy the receipt.
Give me a second.
I see him walk towards the front of the bus, talk with the driver, and then we stop.
Entitled kid, I'm gonna need you to get off the bus immediately and call your parents. But I did have a good day.
He leaves the bus and the driver phones his parents. This guy got his pass revoked and was not allowed on the bus anymore. Let me know if you guys want any more stories. I've got tons. And our next story was posted by a user, Bryn Daniel, titled, I have kids, so I can't tip. I work as a server, and this just happened. I had a woman come in alone with 4 young kids. I help her grab 2 high chairs and even grab an extra to swap because apparently one of the first was broken. Okay, fine. I help her order something that wouldn't be too spicy. I work at a Thai restaurant and help her look at the menu. When food is close to done, I bring out small bowls for her kids and ask if they would do okay for her to divvy up the rice entree she ordered for them to share. She says, yes, thank you. Before food comes out, she takes all the kids into the bathroom and I start bringing out their food. I set it up on the table how easiest for her to reach and even distributed the kids' rice into bowls that I had brought so she wouldn't have to. They eat, her kids make a mess, won't sit down, and have been running around doing cartwheels since they came in, touching our glass surfaces, etc. When she leaves, I'm clearing her table and see no tip. She already paid with a card, so it wasn't on the receipt. She says, thank you, to me from the door. It's a small store, to which I just nod. After putting in the extra work and her kids leaving a disaster zone with no tip, I didn't feel like she really needed much more than a nod. She comes back in after getting all the kids strapped into the car and asked to speak to me. She starts going off about the look I gave her and when she left and how rude I am. I ask her, you don't think it's rude to leave a huge mess and no tip? She's baffled at this point and goes on a rant.
Are you kidding me? Do you know how hard it is to go anywhere with 4 kids and not leave a huge mess? You can't just use a napkin to wipe down the floor.
She then goes on to call me a spoiled brat and how she isn't coming back, to which I just respond, good, then don't. She gets all mad and asks for my name to call my boss, which is unfortunately probably my dad, to which I respond with the most confidence of any utterance in my life. To make it funnier, I'm the only non-Asian worker in this restaurant. She keeps trying to argue and I basically tell her, since she's not coming back anyway, it's no longer my job to deal with her, so I won't. I go to the back to tell my boss that she's gonna call, and why, to which they just laugh. The best part was the guy with his 2 teenagers next to her was like, the best part was that when she called you was spoiled and her kids running around trashing the place, and tipped me $10. Our next story was posted by user iGamer23, titled, EA wanted my iPhone 6s Plus saying, you're too young to have that kind of phone. Okay, just me, EA, Mum. Backstory. The iPhone I'm using now to type this story in was from my mum. It's a hand-me-down phone, but I still love it nonetheless. But every time there would be a family gathering of every first Saturday of June, EA was always asking where I got my phone from and why I always have a phone this expensive in the first place. Now, an iPhone 6s Plus is literally worth 25,000 to 15,000 pesos here in the Philippines, so not really that surprising. I keep telling her that I got it from my mum and it's not really expensive, but she would always pull that "don't talk back to your elders" thing, even though she's asking me how or why I have this phone every single family gathering for 3 years. I have this phone and I love it. Actual story. While we had the gathering last June this year, EA and her son, who's really cool and chill, were just talking about stuff, and when she saw me, she rushed over to me and literally just put her hand out and said, "Give me that phone now." No I won't. Listen to me, you spoiled little brat. Yes, I'm spoiled due to the fact I get work done. You don't deserve this phone or the other stuff you have. Why? Because you keep frickin' every girl you meet in school and getting them pregnant. Whoa there, I don't even have a girlfriend yet. Stop lying, you brat. Give me the phone now or I'll tell your mum. Go ahead then. She then goes to my mum while I chat with CC, my cool cousin. Then they both go to us, and then my mum asks me, "Is it true? Is it true that you punched your own auntie?" Me and cool cousin looked at each other like, "What the hell?" Then before I can even speak, entitled auntie says, "Yes, it's true. Right, cool cousin? You saw him punched me." Cool cousin says, "No, he didn't even lay a finger on you. You just wanted his phone, Mum." "When we get home, you will be punished." Don't even try and punish your own son for saying the truth. I can't believe that you would lie to your sister-in-law. Of Dad's side, of course. He doesn't deserve that phone. And what makes you deserve his or any other phone? Just leave if you're gonna be like this, entitled auntie. I'll tell your husband that you guys hate me and always hurt me. Me in my head, I say, "Yo, my dad is literally behind us. Why the frick would you say something like that?" Then she left and everybody in my dad's side apologized to us. They said that she had been like that for years and they kept telling her to stop, but she doesn't. And our next story was posted by user DCE42, titled, "EA leaves broken truck at my uncle's house for him to repair." Years ago, my cousin's mum, EA, decided that she was going to divorce my uncle, U. She did a host of things to annoy him, but this one sticks out. Part of the initial separation was that she got the pickup truck. EA moved out, and in with her boyfriend. U sold the house and sent EA half the money. Uncle moved into a new home, a good 45 minutes away. A month goes by, and my uncle gets home to the pickup parked to block the entire driveway with a trail of oil running down the driveway into the street. My uncle opens up said unlocked truck with keys still inside. Uncle checks the odometer, which had 150,000 more miles than it had the last time the uncle saw it. So my uncle rings up entitled auntie to find out why the truck is blocking his driveway. EA replies that the uncle is going to fix it. Uncle told entitled auntie that he was not going to fix it as she would have all the money EA needs to have it serviced. Entitled auntie told uncle that he was in charge of servicing the truck as the uncle was the last one to work on the truck, and he was liable for faulty maintenance. My uncle then asked the auntie to clarify that she had done nothing to the truck in the 150,000 miles since he last saw the truck. Auntie replies that he was liable and going to fix the truck by the weekend as she needed it for the weekend. Uncle told her that she had until tomorrow to get that truck off his property or he would have it towed, and he then hung up on the entitled auntie. She picked up the truck while he was at work the next day. Our next story was posted by user Formal Profile, titled, "Entitled Parent Thinks an Entire Bus Should Have to Sit in Silence for Her Child." First post here, not mine, but I found this on the r/am I the arsehole and thought that it belonged here. Credit to the throwaway account. My son is 14 years old and severely autistic. The school that he goes to does not provide school buses just for special needs children, so he rides the same bus as the rest of the kids in our neighborhood. The school year started 2 weeks ago, and this is the first time he's been riding the bus. In the years past, I drove him to and from school, but with my schedule this year, just dropping off and picking him up from the bus stop is much more convenient. 2 weeks ago, on the first day of school, I introduced myself to the bus driver and asked that he keep the bus as quiet as possible, since loud noises lead to my son getting upset or having meltdowns. He said he would try his best. That afternoon, My son became agitated during the bus ride home and refused to get off the bus at his stop. I had to get on the bus and calm him down in order to get him off. The bus driver glared at me as we were getting off the bus, and I said, "If you're gonna be mad at anybody, it should be yourself. I told you to keep the bus quiet." After that, every morning and afternoon, the bus driver glares and frowns at me. In contrast, he greets all the other kids and their parents in a very cheerful and friendly way. I called the school and told them about the bus driver being so rude, and they said they would look into it, quote unquote. After a couple more days, he hadn't stopped with the dirty looks, so I called a few more times, and they said that nobody has ever had any problems with that bus driver, and many people say that he's the best one at the school, which I sincerely doubt. I mentioned the issue to my neighbor, who has 2 children that ride the same bus as my son, and she said that I am completely unreasonable, that the bus driver is the nicest guy you'll ever meet, and that her children say that my son is extremely disruptive on the bus, and she thinks that he shouldn't be riding the bus. Obviously, this made me angry because my son has just as much of a right to ride the bus as her kids. And our last post was posted by user Fern_anonymously, titled, 2 entitled mothers, 1 bake sale. Ooh, that brings back memories, that one. I held a bake sale at a school sporting event, girl playing football, tonight to raise money for a class project. I brought my own table and chair, so I had to take it home for the night. Important for EM2. My group and I had our table set up with 2 cookies for $1 or 2 brownies for $1, which was written on our sign attached to our table. The brownies and cookies are already packaged in 2s and in separate boxes. Our cast are me, Entitled Mother 1, our night's first Entitled Mother, K1, and Entitled Mother 1's child. EM1 approached our table, dollar bill in hand, K1 in the other. I start off with a, "Hi, how are you?" customer service spiel, but Entitled Mother 1 cuts me off. All she says is, "Brownie," and thrusts the dollar at me. I accept it and start to put it in our box of money. Everyone else went ahead and grabbed what they bought and thanked me. Entitled Mum 1 did not. She says, "Which are the brownies?" The brownies are brown. The cookies are light brown with chocolate chips. I didn't think it was that hard to distinguish. Before I can respond, Kid 1 points them out. Entitled Mother 1 slaps her hand away. I really mean slap. And asks again. I gesture to the box of brownies as I'm locking up our money box. Entitled Mother 1 makes no move to grab her brownies. After I finish with the box, I grab a package of brownies and hand them to her. She snatches them and saunters off without a thank you. The rest of the night went well until I had to leave. My table and chair were heavy and awkward but manageable. To get in and out of the area the game was held, you had to go through a gap in the fence just wide enough to get 2 people side by side. When I was trying to leave, there was a large group of people standing in the way. I said excuse me a few times to clear the people out. Keep in mind, I have a folded up table and chair as I'm wading through the crowd. Our cast for this one are me, none other, Entitled Mother 2, Entitled Mum 2, and K2, her kid. I'm finally close to the gate when the second Entitled Mother steps in front of me with kid, about 7 years old, in hand. She stops directly in front of me and pulls her phone out. I say, excuse me, I'm on the phone." She says that while not on the phone. "I'm sorry, I just need to get through." "You can take the other exit." There are no other exits anywhere near us. The closest was on the other side of the football field, which lets out way away from where I need to be. "I'm sorry, but I really need to..." I'm still holding the table and chair, and my breath starts to get heavy. "My child really needs to get through," she says as her child is looking a bit lost, while still holding Entitled Mother 2's hand. "Excuse me, please." I'm sure the principal would love to hear about this. I'm not sure what this was, but she doesn't even know my name. Entitled Mother 2 finally drags off Kid 2, and I make it through. I'm supposed to be meeting with the principal tomorrow during school. Let's see if Entitled Mother 2 tells the principal, quote unquote, what happens. Edit. Since so many people are asking, I met with the principal today to talk about the bake sale results, and nothing happened. I think it was just an empty threat with a hidden, "Do you know who I am?" What even are these stories? That's the end of the video today, guys. If you liked it, don't forget to hit the subscribe button. I want to be more, on social media and stuff. Tell me what you guys think of the stories and everything. I've not been getting too many comments lately, but yeah, for those that are still listening, I'm going to be transitioning away from Entitled Parents content. If you like geofilms, you like Oz Media, all those guys with the Reddit content, I'm going to be posting kind of just those. I will do polls, and if you guys really want Entitled Parents episodes, I will post more of those if you'd really like. But yeah, it doesn't feel too successful of a niche right now, and the channel isn't as popular as it was. I kind of want to get new content on the channel. I do love reading Entitled Parents, so if you guys really want it, I might post every 2 days an Entitled Parents episode with the newest ones. Another complaint I was getting with that was that I was getting all the ones people had already read, which you can probably still see. But what I feel from that is that these episodes where I read newer ones that people haven't read before, people always complain that they're fake and written by 10-year-olds. So that's kind of how I felt about today's episode, because I did read the ones with not as many upvotes on Reddit. Tell me what you guys think of those, and I'll try and do my best with what I can do. I obviously can't get episodes up as fast as people like Mr. X do. I'm sorry about that, but I'm looking forward to making new content, and I'm going to need an editor eventually. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry for the rant, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.